All right, we are live in living color. We are live in living color. Welcome to our community call. We probably need to catch your name.
Organized Chaos Community.
There it is. Welcome to our Organized Chaos Community call. I am Kimberly Jensen.
I'm Andrea Hilton.
We are, the two of us have known each other for a long time now, over a decade. We've done a lot of life together. We've learned how to do a lot of life together, and we just truly believe that the backbone to living life in today's world is community, is doing it together, is doing it side by side, even though we currently are thousands of miles away from one another. Yeah. And so we've been trying. I think 2020 and 2021 showed us how much we need people even more. We need people even deeper, and we have to learn how to break down virtual walls to really get to that place. And so over the last kind of year-ish, we've been toying with some ideas on how to really create that. And Organized Chaos was breathed into fruition a couple of years ago, but I think that was before 2020, and lots of things have changed since then. And so we began to dig even deeper and see where we can do things better and how we can incorporate other people into this community. And so that's kind of what we want to talk about today, how to get into our community, why it's essential to your life, and really what it will do to where it will take you from there. So I'm going to share a little bit about how I got into this community about almost 7 years ago. It'll be 7 years in May. I was at a pretty low period in my life. I was postpartum of about 7-ish months with my second child. I had them very close together. And I remember driving home from work, and he hated the car, and it was 45 minutes. And it was just this every day was tearful. I mean, every day someone was crying, and I was tired, and I was 50 pounds overweight, and I was, I had baby blues, and I kept thinking is this what it's supposed to be like? Is this what we, I wanted kids so bad, and I wanted a family, and I wanted a husband, and nothing felt joyful. Everything felt hard. Everything felt frustrating. And so I ended up, really just deciding that it was time to really get back to some things that I knew were effective, which health and fitness has always been a part of my life, but truthfully, none of it was working. The things that I had done in the past, none of that was effective. I tried, I would go to the gym, and I would do all those things, and nothing stuck. Nothing took. Am I freezing? Am I good? Am I frozen?
You're good.
I'm good. Okay, good. Sorry.
Like when you get passionate,
it's always been. Hopefully it stays. I don't know why.
You're good. Keep going.
Okay. Anyway, so I decided to start with my health and fitness because I knew that was a piece of it. I knew that if I could start to feel a little bit better in my skin, if I could stop wearing postpartum pants, then I would probably, pregnancy pants, then I would probably start to feel a little bit more like me. And so that's what I did. I became a health and fitness coach because I needed the extra accountability. I wanted to always be kind of working on myself. So I figured, why not just sign up? And that really breathed life into what I would later learn is one of the deeper communities that I have. We began to really press into our health and fitness. And as that became kind of just second nature, that's when I feel like we really started to learn about ourselves, because we realized that yes, health and fitness is good, and yes, losing pounds is great, but the truth is our mental health is so much more important. And that's really what we needed to get back to, really get down to the nitty gritty. And I feel like that's where people come into play. As much as your health and fitness is really a lot more fun with other people, you usually end up doing that a lot on your own, because it just becomes second nature, and you can show up and you can work out. Now, don't get me wrong, I still love working out with a group of women, but where the breakthroughs were really happening was with the community around mental health and around actually changing habits that were really not life-giving to my life at all. And so that's kind of how I found who I am, and found out what I'm made out of was through allowing other women into the nitty-gritty of my world.
Loved it. Mine came 5 years ago. Kim introduced me to Beachbody. I was a children's pastor before, and so I was a very busy mom with 2 young kids and running a ministry. And I was going to Kim's Bible study, and she would have these containers and was gun-ho about all of us doing these containers. And I would walk in with my pizza, and I was determined not to join the container system and the workouts. And we would have Friday night dinners together, and she would turn on Size and try to get me to dance. And I'm like, Kim, I'm way too tired for this crap. Like, I just am surviving. And I felt like I had my community already with just doing ministry and having to support so many of those people. But I learned very quickly when I went through a really hard time in life, and where I was having to show up a lot for someone, but nothing was coming back my way. And I was just feeling super defeated and just not encouraged with life at all. And it was affecting my mental state so bad, where I was allowing the enemy to tell me I wasn't worthy and I was better off not being here. And I started to believe it. And I remember, like, my husband was just desperate, and he called Kim, and I went to go stay with Kim. And she met me where I was at, where she knew what was coming to her and didn't push me to do anything, and just was like, here, try the shake at least, Andrea, and I was like, I'll try the shake, but let me sleep and let me talk, let me cry. And just kind of reminded me that I need to take care of me first. I was done taking care of everybody else. And that was where I was at. I was surviving and taking care of everybody and my grieving friend. And I forgot about me. And I just remember you saying, like, start with you. Like, let's start with your brain first, and let's get you just spending time with Jesus, and you listening to work, just spending even 15 minutes by yourself. And I even got counseling, and she was one of my biggest cheerleaders in that, of like, she knew the day I would go and made sure I went, because I needed accountability. But slowly I saw her doing that, and then she saw that I needed more and introduced me to the big group of, hey, you're ready. Why don't you start working out? You were so stressed out with just life and hearing everybody's problems. Why don't you take it out in a workout? And I was like, well, I don't have time to go to the gym. And she's like, let's do it at home. Do it at home. Super simple. So I did it. When my husband joined me, we went all in on 21 Day Fix. I stole my DVD. I refused to throw away that DVD, because it's like my reminder of my first program. Started taking my Shakeology, and I told my counselor about it, and she was like, if you can stick to this and we see a difference in a month, I will not have to put you on medicine. And that was my goal. I just really didn't want to be put on medicine. I wanted to find other ways to help myself. And so we did. And at first I did not ask to join the virtual gym or even your community groups. I just wanted to text Kim, because I was still in the embarrassing stage of, like, can't believe I'm messed up type of thing. But because I saw her so frequently, she kept sharing other women. And so the next round I joined a group, and I just loved hearing people be so honest and share their sweaty selfies and share, I'm having a hard day. And we would just kind of come around that person and be like, have you pushed play? Have you had your shake today? Are you even eating? Like, because we knew where they were at, because you get to share your vulnerability. Mine was, I don't eat when I'm stressed out. And so if I went in there and said, I'm having a hard day, I would have people who would be like, hey, what did you have today? Did you even work out? Have you had your shake? I had to make it very clear that my shake had to be a part of my day, because if it's not, it does affect my mental health. And I loved it. I looked forward to it. I started joining the Zoom calls to work out in the morning. I am not a workout person, and now I am. It's like a part of my thing now. I can't believe it sometimes. And And I actually crave interacting and working out with people. It fuels me to show up more, knowing that there's someone there. And so it makes me get up in the morning. And it's really just the aspect of the community has really helped me have a routine. And I needed a routine. And to be honest, I went through it again just recently, got COVID, and it affected my mental state all over again. This time I had to get on antidepressants, which I was so upset about, and crying to Kim, and Kim rallied behind me and was like, don't be ashamed, you share it. And I did. And now I'm off of them and I'm just taking Shakeology. And it's because of the group of women. Like, they really, when you need people to show up, they show up. Mm-hmm. It's not false. It's true. And I'm a witness of that. And that's why I'm still here.
That's when the enemy comes in and strikes, right? You're better off alone. No one's going to understand you. No one's been where you've been. This pain is only your pain. And I think what we learn, and sometimes maybe the fact that we are all over the planet is more helpful, because we're like, you're less likely to have to see them in person and whatever. But then I would say that's wrong, because all everybody wants to do is get together and have a retreat, which is a part of this community where we will have, we're actually looking to have a couple more retreats this year, because we know how good they are for our souls and for our health. And, I think that we begin to see just how broken everybody is. And it takes the persona off of yourself, thinking like, everybody's looking at me. No, because we're all just a hot mess. We're just different, right? We're all different in our hot messes.
And even wouldn't you say too, Kim, like going to the retreats, you actually see these people live. And I don't know, for me, like seeing everybody live, it helped me form even more friendships.
Totally.
Where I have private conversations. It made me get their phone numbers, because now it's just not seeing you on a screen. I now know you, and we had some deep conversations on this retreat. Now I want to be your friend, and I want to text you. And I feel from the retreats, I've gotten more friendships out of those than anything, because it's like, you build it here a little bit.
Yeah.
Then you get to meet them. It's like, oh my
gosh. I had no idea. Yeah, totally. And so we've been spending kind of the last 3 months redefining what it looks like to be a part of this community, because we love this idea of, we know that the health and fitness piece is important. And I think your fit friends are always your best friends, because there is a level of knowing like you're taking care of yourself here. So if you are struggling here, I know I don't have to help you over here, because you've already got this, right? Like, you know that a morning routine is essential. You just need some accountability to do it. You know that working out is important. You just need to do it. And so we've been trying to kind of come up with this idea of a bigger community that rallies with the premise that health and fitness is kind of the beginning, but then there's so much more to it. And not only that, but there's also so many different avenues to it. And so our community isn't just for Beachbody coaches. It isn't just for health and fitness whatevers. It's for anybody that wants to be a part of something, right? Something that's going to help them in the long run with every area of their life. And that's what I think this group has, 6 years in the making, has finally come to fruition, is we've stopped living inside the box of what we're supposed to be, or what it's supposed to look like, or what Beachbody says we should be, or what this says you should be. And instead we've recreated it the way we want it to live and the way we see it fit. And we think that it's only going to help more women live in freedom. And that's really the heart behind our community, is helping everyone where they are at. So, yeah. So, this community is for you. If you want, number one, you want to get healthy. Number two, you want a community to do it alongside you. Number three, you want to make a little extra money. Maybe you don't, that's up to you. This community is for you. What else am I missing?
If marriage, we
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about marriage, accountability in your marriage. You're gonna have a little thing about that, like routine,
Yep.
what,
Yep.
and even if like I'm a working mom, like I have a job that I have to go to. And that's what I also love about this is that it fits in that bubble too,
Totally. It
that,
comes alongside you
whining.
wherever. Yeah.
That's why I was whining to you yesterday that I have to go back in the office, and I was whining, and you were like, yeah, but you thrive off of routine. And I love that, because what I love about all of this is people get to know me. And so when hard things happen, we rally
Right.
around that person,
Right.
because we know they need us.
Yeah.
Through thick or thin.
I mean, I even think about, we have a gal in our group who, she's going to be unable to get on in the virtual mornings for a season. She has to go back to work. So I'm already thinking, how can we rally behind her when I know how life-giving those morning workouts are? But I think what's unfortunate about 2020 is that it's caused us to have to live a little bit more isolated. But what it's caused in greater is that it's getting people out of their comfort zones to let people in almost in the depth, because we can't just fake. Like if we saw each other in the office, sometimes when you see each other in the office, it's like, hey, how's it going? Oh, I'm good. When you're not good, no, you're not good, but you put on this false persona that everything is great. And you can't really do that. You can't really fake it, because when you're in someone's life in the daily, when they're not, and when they are, and you're able to come in the middle and say, hey, how can I help? What do we need to do?
And seeing how you're handling it has showed others. Like I've had people in my office, when I come in, they're like, how do you have the energy? Like, and their mom, and I tell them, and they're like, oh,
Yep.
And so for me, I feel like they're my next people, because
right.
When people ask, I feel like it's God, like saying, this is who's next that's going to be a part of the community. You know, that's what I love about this, is that God gave you a vision to expand your box.
Mm-hmm.
Stop staying in your box.
Yeah.
I'm exciting to see it, just because it's not just, like you said, it's just not fitness. It's from being organized, routines, marriage, parenting, the book club, all the things that women,
we all stress about and we want to do, but the reality is life's too much.
And maybe you can't do it all, but at least I love that Organized Chaos offers so much that if you can dip the feet in the things that you are needing right now.
Right. And as you get, okay, this is good. Now what else do I need to add? Okay, now what else do I need to add? Or take away, or declutter, or, whatever. There's kind of an avenue for everybody. And I think that we, community, we're going to have live workouts 3 times a week. We're going to have training, like cooking or cook meal plan training every single week. You're not just, it's going to be all encompassing, and it's going to walk alongside you, and not necessarily through social media. I think that's probably the biggest piece of this, is that we're going to break down some walls of, for a long time, I felt as though, because it was this, you got to put it all online. We don't have to put it all online. We can do it privately, but share bits and pieces to then invite into the big picture. And that's what I think is really cool. And so
doing it privately will break down walls. Or I'm sorry, but I stink at meal planning, and I'm really excited for this stuff, because I can ask the hard questions, like, okay, so
how do I actually,
and then I'm not embarrassed, because I'm not asking it in your feed. Instead, I can ask you, and that someone else might be like, oh my gosh, me too. And then, I am not the only one.
That's what the only person. Yeah.
It's those walls are being broken.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So
So that's
I'm excited.
I'm excited. We hope you're excited too. If you're watching this live, great. If you're watching a recording of this, you can reach out to Andrea or I, and we can help answer any questions that you have. But we know that this can change your life, because we've lived through it. I can say quite honestly that every time I think, like, am I really changed? Like, even Andrea and I's relationship is changed because we have we've set up healthy boundaries to change ourselves, because otherwise we would have stayed in our comfort zone, and life could have looked very different for the both of us. And so I think when we live outside this idea of we have to keep getting uncomfortable to grow, we tend to do it with every area of our life. And then the next thing you know, this is changing and that is changing, or this is reconciling, or this is whatever. And when we're open to that, the coolest things happen. And so
get ready to
excited and yeah. Yep.
We love it.
We're here for it. We're here for you. And we hope that we know that this will change your life, and we can't wait to see you in our community.
Yes.
Thanks for listening. Bye.